So it was kind of funny. Like, I don't know if I told you this, but it was pretty much a gamble. There was a rumor about the PSN store closing. When I say PSN, PS3 store was closing.
And by rumor, meaning you're working for Sony right now as we speak. Continue. Continue. No, I'm just joking.
But it was funny though, because I'm sure you remember that, dude. And like, people, it was a rumor. And I said, let me look into this. And I went to the PS3 store. And I was like, dude, this is so messed up. It was laggy as hell. It was all jacked up. I was like, dude, this is horrible. So I said, this is true. So I did that video, and I looked at all the games that people probably want to download from the store before it closes, because at that time, we only had a couple of months before it was going to close. So now's the time to probably put this video together for people. And it ended up being true. And people saw that video, and I put man, there were so many games I put into that video, man. But the reason I did it was because I wanted people to know what was on there, because going to that store was horrible, man. It was laggy. It was all jacked up. It was just not a good experience. And it would upset people. Games weren't properly stored.
It still is.
Yeah, it's still bad. They haven't done any maintenance to it. They don't want to do anything to that store. They still want to close it. But at the time, when it finally was official, people started going to the store looking for games they might want to get. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. But doing that video, man, was pretty insane. Like getting all those games together for people to look at. And now we're dealing with the issue of the 3DS store closing. I don't know too much stuff about the 3DS store. I mean, I bought a couple items off of there. I bought there's a game called Radiant Historia. I love this game. This game is awesome. And it originally came out for the DS, but then they made like a director's cut version for the 3DS. So they added DLC to the game, like story DLC, like little story and everything like that. So I said, you know what? I want to get these side stories because I think these are pretty cool. Normally I wouldn't do it, but I want to be able to experience those stories because I actually really like this game. So I got those. And if you haven't played Radiant Historia, folks that are watching, it is a game, a turn-based RPG that's it kind of has a concept, same concept as a freaking Chrono Trigger, like going back in time and then fixing things in the future. But it's not Chrono Trigger though. It's a turn-based RPG, but it's freaking awesome, and a lot more people need to play it. It was originally supposed to go for the Vita, but that's another video. And I picking up that DLC for the game, and then I looked at another game. It's called Azure Striker Gunvolt. I bought that from the store a long time ago, but I found out it had an anime video on there, pretty much like a little prequel story or whatever like that, or just an alternate OVA, pretty much that you can buy from the store. Going for like a couple of bucks, so I bought that. But I'm really not familiar with the store on what stuff to buy from there, pretty much. I've never really been a shopper of that store, pretty much, so I don't know what to buy on there. So I haven't seen any guides of people like talk about, hey, what you should buy from the store. I've seen a lot of them say, hey, the store is closing, but I haven't seen too many where people are saying, hey, this is what you should get. That's interesting, at least to me, because the first thing they're gonna say is Pokemon. What else are they gonna say?
Zelda,
Mario, stuff like that. So I'm looking for the unique stuff.
Well, Reggie, you're gonna hate my list because some of them are actually good, but I'd like us to start off with this one. So here's something I know you're not gonna care about, but it was cool. On the 3DS, they had this thing called the Nintendo Badge Arcade. So this was super cool. It was a game that allowed you 2 chances every day for free, and is a claw machine come into the game. And it's a claw machine, and it would drop like an item, or the claw would have to come down and pick up a badge. The badge, if you got the badge, right, you can then put it onto your home screen of your Nintendo 3DS and deck out your Nintendo 3DS home screen to look cool. So it gave you wallpapers, it gave you certain buttons. Sometimes it was just a badge to say I have this. Sometimes it was a piece of a badge where you'd have to get the other 4 badges to put together. So you had Pokemon, you had Fire Emblem, you had Metroid, you had, of course, the Mario Brothers. The ones that I went after the most were Animal Crossing, all the Animal Crossing stuff I can. So I kind of decked out my entire 3DS, and I'm gonna miss that because that's something that should be on the Switch. Something that's handheld that you can see, that should be there. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Another one is on the 3DS, the tons and tons of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. I don't have a physical copy of Shanti. I have the downloaded one on my 3DS. That's how I played Shanti. And it's super, super cool. You have save states, so you don't have to worry about anything. I really like it. Legend of, I hope I'm saying this right. Fix it in the people. Let me know in the comments. It's Legend of the Fishing King. There's 1 and 2. This is an RPG on fishing. So you actually like get in the boat. You got to go somewhere, and they're like, well, you can't advance until you find this mystery fish. And it's just super, super dope. It's super dope. And finding that game loose or in the wild is going to cost you some money. So it's good to have it there. Once again, you have your save states and everything. Metroid 2. I beat Metroid 2 3 times on my 3DS, so it's great. Pokemon games. Reggie, you're as American as you are. You have, man, it's crazy. Everywhere I travel in other countries, you always have fans. So it's cool to know that Pokemon Yellow is there in French, German, Spanish, don't think Italian, but English as well on there. So if you're trying to like learn a different language, or if you just want to play it, that's there as well. And of course there's NES games, but NES games you can always emulate anywhere else. No different than these ones, but it's cool to have it on hand. Right
on. I don't really have much for the system. I mean, like I said, I'm still I still got to go searching through it. You know, I'm hoping I can find some cool stuff. But you know, I've never been like a big 3DS person. You know, I actually started collecting for the 3DS. You know, it's very like periodically, I would say, not really much. I feel like here and there I'll find something I want for it. And I feel like I kind of plateaued what I wanted on the system. I have at least 20 games on it, which is awesome. You know, that I like, so that's good.
Good.
But far as
that's like about the same amount that I have physical. I have a lot of digital though.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of games that I had, well, one I had back in the day, I had Kirby's Planet Robobot, which is an excellent game, but I couldn't get into it at the time. I recently picked that up. I'm enjoying it a lot now. I don't think that game will get ported to the Switch, so I wanted to go ahead and get that one as kind of defining my collection for the system. Here's the funny thing. There's everything 3DS is already gone up in price, like physical. Like, it's insane because GameStop stopped carrying it. You'll get sometimes people will trade stuff in the GameStop. They'll keep the case. They won't throw the case out because a lot of people don't know that when a system kind of like when GameStop pushes a system out, they want to keep it like as small as possible. So they'll throw the case away for it, which is annoying. You know, that makes it ununiform pretty much. So if you want to like have a complete game, you can't have it. You have to buy the cart only, and then those are things that are easy to lose. At least I've lost some in the past. But anyways, they'll throw the box away or whatever for it. But sometimes people still trade in stuff at GameStop for it, and you can find it there. I'm looking for one game, and it's gone up in price, man. And I cannot believe it's gone up in price. It's like the whole series of games, the 3DS one is going for the most money, and that game is Ace Combat Event Horizon, I think it's called.
Wow,
it's like $70.
What?
Yeah, it's like $70. I said, man, you know, I saw a video, and I said, let me pick that up. That looks pretty cool. $70. I was like, yeah. Go ahead and keep it. So maybe that's on the store. I didn't try to look for it on the store. Maybe that's on there. I don't know. But that tripped me out, man. I was like,
well, I'll give you some like other notable ones that I enjoyed and that I really had. You have to think when it comes to the like eShop, right? It's not just a 3DS. It's also the Wii U and it's also the DSi.
Right.
Reggie, okay. I feel this is like the hidden gems of hidden gems when it comes to downloadable stuff. So on the DSi, there are two that come to my mind. One is Dr. Mario. So I know you're like, well, Dr. Mario's on everything. Dr. Mario's on a Game Boy, Dr. Mario's on a NES and stuff like that. But this one is exclusive just to the DS.
Really?
And so
when you say DS, you mean the 3DS or the 3DS store?
I'm sorry, DSi. DSi.
Okay.
I apologize. Yeah, on the DSi. So this one's exclusive to it, and there is no like, I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. There's no physical copy of this game, so it's download exclusive. That's the only way you're gonna have this game. And if there's anything we learned from like when the Wii went out, right? That store went out, that we couldn't get like the Castlevania one that they had until like they have to pretty much emulate it. So there's that, and then there's this other one. You have to try this one, Reggie. This is the hidden gem one. It's called Dark Void Zero. I want you to think.
I know that game. The game came out on the PS3, and then they had the Void one came out for 3DS. It's still available?
Correct. So that's an awesome one. And it works like a platformer. Just the styling of the game looks like Super Nintendo-ish. It's fantastic. It's something you should pick up. The second I saw it, I thought it was Section Z, but with like platforming. And I was like, I have to get this one. And then another great one is Bomberman Blitz. Bomberman Blitz is dope because it's like 8 Bombermen. I think it's like 6 to 8 Bombermen on a screen, top and bottom, and it's Bomberman. Wow. It's always a good time, and I believe this one is multiplayer as well. I mentioned Shanti. Shanti is always in the stores for the 3DS. Shanti's Risky Revenge. That's a good one to pick up. Now, here's an awesome one. Reggie, you ready for this one? If you have a Wii U, Super Mario Advance 4. So what you're thinking of is Super Advance 4 is, remember our cartridge, our Game Boy cartridge, which is like Super Mario Advance?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, this is that, but with all the levels from the e-reader. So if you don't have all the cards for the e-reader, this is the time to pick that up.
Now I know why so somebody made a cart with the Mario 4 Advance, Mario 3 game, with all the e-reader card games on there as well. So now I know where that idea came from because of that, pretty much. They did that, so that's pretty cool. The e-reader levels are actually really fun. I don't know if there are some of the cut levels from the original game, because Mario 3, I don't know if you noticed, there's cut content on the game cart that they just recently found out about. And there's actually some cool levels in there, but some were kind of like weird, but some are actually really good. I'm wondering if some of those levels were actually on those e-reader carts, because I haven't got that far on those levels on the carts, but still, that's really cool to know, man. Okay.
And then here's another cool thing. So I have a Wii U that is NTSC, and I have another Wii U that is PAL. So I don't know if this is on the NTSC, but I know it's on PAL. On PAL, there's a bunch of PC Engine games, and pick them up. Like, it's in the virtual console. So if PC Engine, you're thinking like Blazing Lasers, Golden Axe, and things like that, this is a great way to play that if you don't have a PC Engine Mini, if you don't have an Evercade and things like that. It's a great thing to have. I purchased a lot of those games because I had to stream it. I had to hook it up all the way through the Elgato and everything. It's just like a simple way. And then the two most important ones for me, Reggie, that were in the eShop on the Wii U, Metroid Fusion, Zero Missions. Yeah, Fusion, Zero Missions, and I'm missing another one that was on there. Oh, it's Super Metroid.
Metroid, yeah. That was the kind of the way. Well, I'm not sure. Was it on the Wii U store, or that was the kind of the way to play the Metroid games? Because they still haven't imported them a lot of them to the Switch yet.
Correct. So on the Wii U is where I got them. And the cool thing. Yeah, and the cool thing is if you have the Wii U Pro controller, you can play it like that. It's perfect. The emulation is excellent. It fits to your screen. It's on a modern TV. It's perfect. I did a whole live stream on it. It was fantastic. And then one last one, Reggie, because I know you're gonna hate me for this, right? But I'd like you to try this, okay? It's called Pokemon Battle Torsy for the 3DS.
No.
It's a shut up, Reggie. You're gonna try this. It's a great puzzle game. It's a puzzle game where it's like Tetris but Pokemon stuff. However, unlike unlocking things, it's just addictive. It's a very addictive, fun game. And the one thing I love about the 3DS is I was able to play a game, play it for a short amount of period, put it down. It's just something you should try.
Look, man, I know I kind of heckle Pokemon, man, but if Pokemon has a fun game that I like, man, I have no problem with it, man. So I'll definitely check that out. But one thing I want to ask you, I have no idea when the store is closing right now. As of right now, when is it closing?
In about a year from now.
Oh, we got a year?
We have time for this. Oh yeah.
Oh, we're good, man. I'm thinking like in a couple of months, like when Sony was doing it.
Well, let me tell you why we're all okay. Not all, but let me tell you why people are freaking out. Because we never saw that coming, and then you see what comes with the. You saw what happened with the PS3. Freaked out. So it's one of those like, oh God, get it now before they're gone. For all we know, Reggie, they can say last minute. Nah, we'll leave it up there. For all we know, but the truth is, seeing Nintendo's past, that doesn't look like that's going to happen.